Hey everyone, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. It's an off weekend for me. I am out in the forest today, but it's just a quick little drive. Got the Lexus with me today. I'm out on the side, kind of on the side of a mountain here. I don't know if you'll be able to see through the trees. Way down there is town. So this weekend I had to take off because Friday actually kind of injured my wrist a little bit doing something stupid. I was working on the Project Clumpy, the 60 series, and so first off there was a fuel leak. It was leaking from the tank. I've taken that drain plug in and out so many times that finally I destroyed the gasket, I guess. Not that I even saw one on there. It's so old. But it was dripping out of there pretty good. You know, it was making a stain, a big stain, and it was wet of fuel, and you could smell fuel. So I pumped the tank out again, and I took off the drain plug, or when I took off the fuel sending unit, which is, you know, at the top of the tank, it's easier to pump the tank out from the top there. And I got a little whoosh of pressure. So that was another thing I had to address. So seeing that the tank was sitting there under pressure was assisting in the leak, but nonetheless, I did need to fix that. So I've got a couple different thicknesses of rubber, and I made a new gasket and put that back together, good to go. So then working on the pressure problem, just like I had to do in the 80 series, the charcoal canister, I imagine, well, it's an original one, or at least it's a factory one. I don't know if it's original, but I imagine it was clogged or whatever. So I was going to take it out and see what I could do with it. You know, blow air into the different ports, see if I could see anything, which you really can't on those things. And you can't replace it with an OEM one. You'd have to go aftermarket like I did in the 80, which was a AC Delco one. It works okay. When I was out in 100-degree weather and doing some heavy off-roading, and I stopped, I was getting heavy vapor smell from that, and I also got some pressure in the tank on the 80. So that AC Delco one is not working as good as the factory one did originally. So I went to pull the charcoal canister out, and it was really stuck in there. Some reason, I don't know, oil, all kinds of dirt, the two bands, and I got kind of underneath it, and as I was prying up at an awkward angle, and I pulled like the muscle or the ligament and tendons in my wrist here on my right wrist pretty bad. Like I don't usually say anything, but I didn't get any sleep Friday night because it was aching so bad. And then Saturday when I woke up, I couldn't even move it without it like someone stabbing a knife in there. And I thought I did something pretty bad, but allegedly I didn't as of today. So I wrapped in an ace bandage on a Saturday morning, you know, just to immobilize it. So I wouldn't, one, it's like a reminder that you don't reach and try and do things with your dominant hand, right? And also to immobilize it. And then I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go out off-roading. One of the things when you go off-roading by yourself, you have to be ready to dig yourself out or self-recover, or cook, whatever you're gonna do, and I couldn't really do anything. So had a really boring day. I sat around and actually watched a couple old Star Wars movies. And before you know it was dark out. Before you know it was midnight, time to go to bed. And so I burned through all of Saturday. And it was kind of depressing because weekends are always my fun time to get out and do stuff. So I woke up this morning. It was like, well, it still hurts a little bit, but it's much better. I took some of the turmeric. I guess it's supposed to be like a natural anti-inflammatory. So we have turmeric pills at the house. So I took some turmeric twice on Saturday and once this morning, and it's feeling better. It hasn't given me that sharp pain, but I'm being very cautious with it. I need it to heal because I need to do stuff, work on stuff, you know, everything. Does my headlight look like, that headlight over there looks like it's got some, it better not have, it definitely looks like it has stuff in there. That, look at that headlight and look at this one. There's, it's not moisture, but there's some kind of white, that looks really bad. It's not like I replaced them both. Oh, crapola, man. When you save money, there's always a cost. That looks, I'm gonna take a closer look at that. So obviously today will be a short video, just me talking a little bit here. That bums me out, I just saw that headlight thing like that, but yeah, days like, weekends like this, I contemplate not even producing a video because I really didn't do anything. But this stuff happens, you know, it's not the end of the world. But so I didn't bring the dog out with me because I decided to go and hit every auto parts store I could within like a 20-mile radius or something, looking, just seeing what each different place has. You know, I've been going to Advanced Auto in Napa mainly. I was originally going to O'Reilly back a couple years ago, but I found stuff that I needed more at Napa and at Advanced Auto. But today I hit a different different AutoZone, a different Napa, a couple other places. I found a bigger drain pan. See, I work inside those drain pans like when I'm cleaning stuff, and I found a bigger one that's going to allow me to work a little bit better. Plus, when you're draining fluids, sometimes they splatter in those smaller like 4-quart pans or whatever. So I got one of those. Got a little hose that I think that might work for the charcoal evap canister that it's got a tear in it, and that could actually cause a vacuum leak. So I got that. It had like 2 pre-bent 90s on it, and all I had to do is cut one off because I tried to bend the hose and it just kinked. So this will probably work. That's why I didn't bring my dog with me, because I don't like leaving him in the car when I'm going in places. Not at all, you know, and come up here and just relax. But as you can see, I have my flannel on. I broke the flannel out for the first time this, well, not this year, because obviously January, February I was wearing it, but for the first time this season, it's down in, well, actually up here, it dropped down to about 60 degrees Fahrenheit, staying in typical fashion, lower the temperature as I drive up into the mountain even farther. I gain about 8 degrees in the proper direction that I want, which in the summertime is cooler, and in the wintertime is cooler because that's where the snow is. So that works out pretty good. But yeah, it's, as far as an update with the 60 goes, this weekend I was planning on doing an adventure trip and doing some cooking, and one day working on the 60 project, because I'm so close to kind of getting that thing to where, you know, I could maybe cruise it around on the weekends. Even though, I mean, I have, but I still have fuel tank issues. Pumping this out again for the 3rd time, I've now that I've filled it up about halfway and it's sloshed around, there's a lot more debris that has come off the sides and probably the top of the tank that is now sitting in the bottom. And it's like, it looks like flakes of possible rust, not just like dried up fuel that has tarred up. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. You can't really buy OEM tanks anymore of that age. You'd have to get an aftermarket tank, like a larger tank. They're pretty expensive. About $1,500 to $2,200. That's about where they're at, which is a lot of money. Plus it takes out, you have to take out your cross member, no longer put your spare tire under there. But the cool thing is, 1, it's a new tank. 2, the ports are on the side, not in the top, to where I could hook up the supply and return. It looked like really, it's right next to all my stuff. But I'm still way up in the air on what I'm gonna do with that. But the worst news of all, my second power steering pump is leaking. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's got a drip. And it's coming from, I don't know, it's hiding behind the bracket that's on there. So in order to try and diagnose what's going on, I've got to pull the alternator off, to pull the belt off, pull the whole power steering pump and bracket off, take the bracket off the pump, then I can have the pump in my hand and see where it's leaking from. Unbelievable. I mean, there's options to go to a Saginaw conversion. It's like an old GM pump that you put, that a lot of people use like in hot rods and when they're doing kind of custom jobs. The only problem I have with that is the Saginaw pump that goes in there is even older than 86. It's like 70 through, say 70 through 80. 1970 GM trucks through 1980. It's like, I'm going to go farther back to a power. There's nothing newer that can go on here. So I've got that issue. That's the most, I mean, the fuel tank's a pain in the butt, but this, I'm on my second brand new power steering pump. And now that one, it didn't leak right away, but it started to leak as I drove, because when I got back last weekend, I could see it on the frame rail, but I didn't know if it was coming from the actual box or the pump. So I cleaned it all up, hit it with brake cleaner, cleaned up all the surfaces that I could see where it was hitting, and I started it up. This is Friday after I did the fuel tank and the charcoal canister. And I could see it was already dripping. So I was in there with a mirror and a flashlight while it was running, and it was dripping from the pump, from the bottom of the pump somewhere. Doesn't look like it's coming out the shaft. It looks like it's coming out the dang bolts again that bolt the pump together. So last time I tried to fix that, I snapped a bolt off. I don't know. I don't want to do a conversion to an older pump. You can get these pumps, they're remanufactured. Some people even make them new. So that's not really a problem, but I don't know. You can see, obviously, I'm confused with what I want to do and what I'm gonna do. But it kind of sucked that I had to take the weekend off. You know, it's not like I don't need the rest. I need the adventure. I need I actually wanted to cook a steak and something. I haven't had steak probably since the last time I made a video with the steak. And I was just craving one on Thursday night. You know, Thursday night I start thinking about what I want to do, whether it's going to be go out on a Friday or a Saturday. Usually better on a Friday because you don't see anybody out. But I think that's going to do it. I just wanted to check in with you guys, let you know what's going on with Project 60. Still some issues. And that I hurt my hand, I hurt my wrist, but hurt it on Friday morning, you know, so basically rested it Friday night and all day Saturday, and now it's, I don't know, 1 o'clock or so on Sunday, and it's feeling better. It's feeling better. None of this has given me any sharp pains, but I know if I grip and do that, it will. So I'm going to take it easy the rest of today and get back to work on Monday. I got to run the mouse. This shouldn't be too bad though. Anyway, you guys, apologize for no adventure or shop video, but I had to take it easy after doing something stupid like that. But appreciate you guys checking in and watching. We'll see you next weekend.